guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Courtney here, and I'm here today to do my Throwing Shade palette roulette update. And I think this is number like 14. I don't even know. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. So this is the Fantastic Ladies collab, which a lot of my panning videos are. And if you haven't seen any of these before, basically what we do is you randomly draw 3 palettes. This is obviously 2 of the 3. And then you use 1 per week, and then the last week of the month you use all 3 combined. I'm gonna insert pictures of looks that I did from last month, and then we're gonna talk about the palettes really quick, and then we're gonna talk about the ones I drew for this month. So starting off, I was using my Juvias Place, the Masquerade Mini, and I really like this palette. I am glad I have the mini size. I'm like stuttering today, I'm so sorry. I'm glad I have the mini and not the full size, just because the pan size difference is insane, and I know I could never go through a full size of these, especially because a lot of them are really colorful. I think I am going to put this one back in rotation though, because I didn't really get to use any of like the bottom colors, so any of the bright colors, which is the main reason I picked up this palette. But I did use the browns, and I used both of these shimmers. I also used this white one in Giza. These are super pigmented. They're really, really pretty. If you saw last episode of this, I swatched a bunch of these just because they're so beautiful. So I think I am going to put this back in rotation for another month. I don't think... it's going to be like 2 months from now this will be back in, because I haven't bought eyeshadow palettes in a long time. So I'm like almost at the end actually. But I do want to use this one more because I really do enjoy it, and I think it's really pretty and nice, and these do go on sale relatively often, like at Ulta or Juvia's Place. You can get these for a really good deal. And hopefully during that whole segment I was inserting pictures, and if I wasn't, I'll do it here. The second palette I was using was my Z palette, which is in this MAC double-sided palette. So if you guys have been here, you know that I am actually panning the shadows in here because they are part of my Morphe 350 palette. I made some pan, which you guys saw again in my update. There's a lot of shimmers. This one right here, I'm pretty close on hitting pan too. And then on the other side is a bunch of like beauty concepts and Wet n Wild, and then some more Morphe at the top. So I've just kind of been playing with them and doing some looks and just really having a good time basically. I'm not a huge fan of the beauty concept shadows, but I think I'm going to start like using them up and getting rid of them. Just because they're really powdery, and there's a really big chance of fallout with all of those. Like if you use them as an inner corner highlight, they end up going like all down the side of my nose and like onto my cheek, and then they'll get rubbed into my foundation, like into my skin, and they'll be there for the rest of the day, which is a look like I totally am not against having glitter all over my face, because like the highlight I have today is literally glittery, but it's not always the look I'm going for, you know what I mean? So for the third week, I was using my Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions palette, and this is super pretty. My only real complaint about this palette is that every look I ended up doing turned out pink instead of purple, and it didn't seem to matter. Like if I use this as a transition shade or this one, they both kind of turned out more pink. I would use this darker one in the crease and like to deepen it up. Sometimes I'd even put like a brown to try to deepen it up, or in the crease just to kind of switch it up a little. I used these 2 shades on the lid a lot, but I also ended up using my e.l.f. Molten Liquid eyeshadow on the lids a lot just because it was really pretty. And I did pair that with Glass Bowl from ColourPop because I am panning this, and this palette just went really well with that color scheme. So I am excited to keep this in my collection. I do eventually think I'm going to pan it, just because, I don't know, I was not as excited about it, like using it, I'm not as excited about it as I was when I first got it, just because the payoff isn't what I expected, and it's just not, it's not what I expected, I guess. And I think if I do end up panning this, I'm going to pick up the all purple palette from ColourPop, because I like that's more purpley in my opinion than this one. But there is a couple shades in here, like I didn't use this corner shade or this one over here. I swatched this one and used it once. It's like a duochrome. You can kind of see it flashing the green or blue, I mean. But like you can't even see really that I used any of this except for the center shade. And like maybe where I swatched this one. But anyway, enough about that. We're going to go into next month's palette. It's really quick. So I did use the first palette on my eyes today for this eye look, which is the Wet n Wild Rose in the Air palette, or yeah, Rose in the Air. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Modern Renaissance palette. Right now it really looks all matte, but there are two shimmers right here. And I do have the gold one on my eyelids. That is the colors. You really can't see that gold, but it's there, I swear. These are super soft, very like nice, but just from swatching that, there's so much coming off of that gold. Crazy. So I ended up using the transition shade up here, and then this like orange shade right here, which these are all numbered. So I used 1, 6, and then 7, no, 3. Complicated. But I'm excited to kind of get into this. This is actually really similar to a lot of the shadows that are in my Project Pan right now, like my Panette palette. So I'm not sure how much I'm going to get use out of this, but I do want to do like a pink look with these two. I'd like to do another like red look with these ones, and just test out like all the shadows. So doing like a brown look with the transition shade down here, and from there kind of just go with it. The next palette I'm going to be using is my Winky Lux Smitten Kitten palette, or Smitten palette, I'm so sorry. So this is a heart shape, and I have it in the box just because I think the box is really pretty. Winky Lux's packaging is super cute. And the lighting is so weird in here today, I'm so sorry. But, so on the back, it looks like the colors are really deep, and if I remember, they're not. They're actually like pretty bright. And my thing is that this palette doesn't even really go together, and I like regret buying this palette basically. This shade up here is a super nice like transition shade. The shimmers in here are really, really pretty. And then there's just a random black. Like why? Someone explain that to me. And it's like a patchy black. It's not even a nice black. Someone is walking their dog outside the window. And lastly, I'm using my ColourPop Z palette again. I was like, I think this was in once already. Yeah, it says so in my notes. But I'm putting this back in rotation just because I didn't get a ton of use out of it. So this side is all ColourPop and this side is all Morphe shadows. So yeah, just gonna get some more use out of these. You guys have seen these already, but I wanted to just kind of talk about it because I am gonna be using it again. So that's everything for my update. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope the pictures looked okay. Alright, so that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I've actually been really loving doing this. It's kind of helped me see what I want to pan and move forward or get rid of and things like that. So I love you guys. Thank you again for watching. If you want to hang out with me anywhere else on social media, it's all down below as always. Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat's down there. And you can also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and see my face more that way. I love you guys like I already said, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye, everybody.